What comes out to be cookies? Why it is so important in the web development applications is a very big question mark till now. So let's have a small brush up of what is this cookies all about. So cookies are nothing but the browser cookies are small text files which are stored in the browser. So it is like the user identification data, which I can say in short. And what is its use? It saves all the information related to the user identity. This information is used for validating once they browse through different kind of the pages. So cookies are nothing but the user identification information which is saved in the client side. So in Phalcon, we can create cookies, we can save them in the browser. And the another plus point of Phalcon framework is that the cookies can be encrypted in the particular format. So how does cookies work? So if you say for cookies, we have two types of cookies. First comes as the session cookies, which I mentioned right now, and the next is the persistent cookies. So cookies include two different types. Session cookies are nothing but the type of cookies which stay on browser. They retain your information until your browser is closed. As soon as the browser is open, it will treat a new session for that particular user. If the case goes for the persistent cookies, it includes a stipulated lifespan and remain in the browser within the given lifespan. Those websites which use persistent cookies keep a track of each and every user even if the browser is closed by the particular user. So cookies and Phalcons have been described in that particular format. The syntax of defining the cookies is mentioned over here. It's like $this cookie set the value name of the cookie, its value and the time. So let's start off with creating a particular cookie in our demo project. So I'll move on to our demo project, that is NetBeans. Here I'll create cookie. So that cookie will be defined inside my user's controller. So first of all, I'll create a controller. So let's go on to our demo project, cd demo1. Here I'll create a controller. The command is Phalcon controller and the name of the controller is nothing but cookie controller. So I'll say cookies. So yeah, the controller has been created successfully. Let's go on to the web application. Yeah, this is my controller. Now inside index action, I'm going to imply a cookie. So that cookie will be nothing but a user information cookie, and I'm going to encrypt it in a particular format. So let's start off inside index action and say if $this, if the cookies, okay, I'm going to check like cookies. This is a function to check whether the cookie exists or not, has login action. Okay, so this is the way I'm checking out for cookies. $this has login action. Then you need to create a function for getting a cookie, that is get cookie. First of all, I'd like to mention that the cookie has not been created. Yes, we are just figuring out to create different type of functions from which we can retrieve the cookie value. So cookie $this cookies get login action. If it exists, then it will retrieve all the details of the cookies with the particular name. So this was regarding like to get the value of the particular cookie. Now I need to fetch the cookie's value, and this I'm doing with the help of name. Now I'll do with the help of you can say the cookie value. So for getting the cookie value, the cookie's value $value equal to $login cookie get value echo $value and that's all. We have done with it. So this was regarding index action function. The other thing which we need to imply, this is like to be called after this thing. Okay. Now we need to set the value of the cookie. So that is done with the parameters which we just saw in the presentation. Like how a cookie is being created. The cookie is being created in this way, set. Okay. I'm giving the parameter. The name will be login action, comma, value will be ABC, and the time will be plus 15 into 8460 milliseconds, 600 milli. That's all. I've defined the cookie. Now what to do? So I've defined a particular cookie. Now it is like we need to check out for the execution. Before that, let's move on to like services.php. We need to understand that cookies have been encrypted. Cookies and Phalcons are encrypted and being sent to the server as a request and decrypted as soon as we get the appropriate response from the server. So this is a peculiarity of cookies in Phalcon. This assures that the security is being maintained for the authorized user. It is always suggested to avoid storing sensitive data in cookies despite of the functionality of encryption and decryption. So that is about understanding of cookies in Phalcon. So let's move on to our services.php inside config. So inside config folder, we'll have services.php. Here we'll define the cookies. So here cookies will be defined. So let's start with defining a cookie. It's like setting up the value of cookie. So I have done with it. So I'll define the value in this way. This is like we are setting up the encryption key. First of all, setting up the cookie value will be $di set. We are going to set cookies value. So cookies and the function will be in this way. If you get confused with how it has been done, let's copy this part and follow the exact syntax which has been present over here. So here I'll say cookies. It is not set share, it is set, and the function it will be $cookies equal to new cookies, which is the class for defining the cookies, and $cookies is use encryption as false, return $cookies. In services.php, we also need to check whether the appropriate class has been defined or not. So that particular class for defining a cookie is nothing but in this way. The way it is defined in sessions, we have it for cookie as well. We have it over here. So that is use Phalcon HTTP cookies. How to use that particular thing, you can see it like it is defined in this way, new cookies. So it is as, so if you say for new cookie, it will call for this particular cookies and the encryption method will be called automatically. You can check now also. Use encryption method as false. So we have defined the cookie. The other thing now we need to do is nothing but setting up the values, the encryption key. So let's set out the encryption key and get the appropriate output. Set the encryption key. Okay. So it's like again the same way. $di set, the function over here is crypt, dollar crypt equal to new crypt. We need to also call this particular function thing, and here we will set the key value. So the key value will be dollar crypt equal to set key. I'll set the key value in this way as this can be any random key value which you want to. Important point to be noted over here, it should be used as a unique key. That's all, we have set it. Now we need to check out for our cookies controller, like how it runs. So we'll call for the controller function, we'll run it out and get the appropriate output to verify whether the cookies have been encrypted properly or not. So if you check for the browser, let's do it here. Here I'll say cookie, which gives the value of the cookie. We have set the encryption as false. If we set it as true over here inside services.php, then most probably there are the chances that the encryption has been done properly. So it will be true. Let's check it out if it is running or not. Yeah, so class script has not been found, so let's add the class script over here. But the script class is quite simple. Use as script. That's all. So the script has been defined properly. So now we need to check out for the browser how the output comes. Decrypt base 64 has not been done. This error is why it is given, because while encrypting it requires a base 64 non-object thing. For now we have ABC as a string which is being defined. So that's why it's showing an error. If you set it as false, encryption is false, so the encryption will not be taken place and the necessary output will be displayed over here. That is the value of the cookie, that is ABC. So in this way the cookie functionality works with respect to Phalcon. The plus point over here, always we need to check, we send an object instead of string if you need to set up a particular cookie in Phalcon.